Las Vegas Raiders 21, New England Patriots 17. Patriots, we talked about the sky falling last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's even lower. Patriots fall to 1-5. Raiders moving to 3-3. Their defense continues to impress. As always with defense, we've tried to figure out in a game how much of that was bad offense, how much of it was good defense, but little of both in this game. The Patriots in this game finally surpassed, for the season, their season point total finally surpassed the Week 3 total of the Miami Dolphins of 70. But yeah, ugly game again for New England, and credit the Raiders, man. We've got a lot of storylines coming out of this. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, back injury. He was trying to play through it in the first half. You could tell he was really hurting. Brian Hoyer comes in to start in the second half, hits a 48-yarder to Trey Tucker, which is one of the bigger plays in the game. So Hoyer holds the fort for the Raiders, who were just trying to grind it out and let their defense win it, and that's what happened. Max Crosby seals the deal. The game-winning drive attempt for New England becomes a safety for the Raiders because Max Crosby, as we mentioned on the show the other day, Max Crosby against whoever's playing right tackle for the Patriots looks like a mismatch, and it certainly was.
Yeah. The New England offense was just, like, some of the numbers surrounding them this season have been absolutely insane. They were outscored, what was it, like 85-6 over a sequence of 10 quarters of football. They had no touchdowns in 12 straight quarters.
They had 27. We're just going to go back and forth and pinball on. Let's popcorn a few stats here. 27 straight drives where they didn't reach the red zone.
29 that
ended up at 29. There was 27 at one point and ended up at 29.
The 30th was their first trip to the red zone.
They now have 72 points on the season, which is 2 more than the Dolphins had in Week 3. That was what I was trying to eloquently say a little while ago.
Mac Jones remains committed to some of the dumbest and most absurd turnover-worthy plays you're going to see.
So that was another one I had to kind of like look up on the fly. Mac Jones leaves the pocket and chucks it up into coverage once again. This year, Mac Jones now has 5 turnover-worthy plays on outside the pocket plays, scrambled drills, broken plays, basically, outside the pocket. 5 turnover-worthy plays, most in the NFL. But he's only about 20th in actual attempts on those plays outside the pocket. So that includes fumble 6 against Dallas, this pick against the Raiders. It's outside of structure, Mac Jones has been worse than in structure, Mac Jones.
He is unrecognizable right now from the quarterback he was and was supposed to be. I mean, the thing that Mac Jones was good at was decision-making, quickly reading through things, delivering the ball accurately and intelligently to the correct spot at the correct time. And number one, he's not doing that at all at the moment. And number two, I mean, that interception, like, Mac Jones thought he was Patrick Mahomes for a minute. And so what is this? You're running out of the pocket, which, number one, is not a Mac Jones thing. Number two, you then decide to, he's got the ball tucked. He's, running. And then he's like, no, I've seen a guy open, pulls it down, and tries to do this like Patrick Mahomes, off balance, no feet underneath him, throw back across his body, which is actually open, by the way. Like, were he Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or anybody else that does this on a regular basis, he could have delivered the ball perfectly reasonably to the receiver standing there waiting for it. Instead, he lofts it 5 yards over his head, further inside, right to the safety. It's like, what the hell was that?
On the other hand, to probably sum up New England's failures here, they pick up, I think it was a slant that was close to a first down. So it's fourth quarter. You're down 2. You get the comeback attempt here. New England's kept it close against the Raiders. They have a chance to go win. They have a penalty, whatever, that makes it 2nd and 11. Mac Jones unleashes by far his best throw of the game and of the season, right into Devontae Parker's hands from his own end zone. It's going to put Parker and the Patriots into Raiders territory, and Parker drops it.
Yeah.
Next play, we have a delay of game, and then sack in the end zone, game's over.
Yes.
So when Mac, were you going to question the throw?
No, I was going to question the drop.
I mean, I don't really care. It was a great throw that was in his hands.
Yeah, but people are like, it's one of those plays where
I'm saying there's a point. It's a
great
throw that should be caught. I mean, if you want to give credit somewhere else, too.
I don't even know so it's a great throw that lands in the hands of his receivers, right? And when that happens, everyone immediately just goes, it's a drop. The receiver sucks. And the announcers have a similar lack of nuance that, like, that's a play you got to make. Marcus Epps arrives right at the same time that ball arrives, and the contact he makes on Parker moves his arms, right? Like, he's going there, he's going to catch the ball, the safety comes in and connects with his arms, which changes everything. Like, your hands are no longer where you put your hands to catch the football. Yes, maybe you want Parker to catch it anyway, but I think that's a great play by the safety who breaks that up.
Okay, well, you're right. I'm rewatching it again. It was a great play. You're talking about it from, like, that's how we talk about it here at PFF, from how are we evaluating players. Like, we got to give credit to the defense as well. From a New England perspective, the throw itself is there.
Yes.
And whether it's called a drop or not, you're right. I mean, we have like 20 different ways to, call what we call an incompletion. The throw's there. It should be caught overall. And that's the difference in the game. Not making that play versus making it. And then 2 plays later, Max Crosby's tackling you in the end zone and this game's over.
That's why I thought the announcers had a lack of nuance. It was Tony Romo in the booth, right?
Yeah, Romo and Nance were in there for the practice run for the Super Bowl.
That's right, the dry run.
Yeah, they had a couple different camera. Now that I knew that it was a dry run, and I saw that they have these interesting different camera angles, like you could tell they're trying some stuff for the Super Bowl.
I need to fly on the wall in the meeting where that was pitched to somebody. Guys, we're gonna need a dry run in Vegas because we have the Super Bowl there in February. So we're gonna we need to be there this week. Big weekend in Vegas, and if you could just increase the discretionary budget for that weekend, that would be great.
It's more like we're going to have you go do a 1-4 versus a 2-3 team. You good? No. What's in Vegas? All right, fine. It's fine. Jimmy Garoppolo.
But you better be prepared for some hefty steak bills to come in.
Garoppolo and the Raiders offense looked pretty good in the first half. Michael Mayer, breakout game here. He goes 5 catches for 75 yards, looks all Gronk-like against the former Patriots on a couple plays. Jacoby Myers goes, New England media was trying to keep an eye on Jacoby Myers, right? That's the story. You let this guy walk. You're worried about receivers, but you let Jacoby Myers walk. Well, he picks up a first down and a touchdown on the same drive. So I was like, oh, there you go. Revenge game for Jacoby Myers. But then Garoppolo gets hurt. You could tell he's hurting, and Hoyer comes in and holds the fort in the second half.
Yeah, the Patriots were doing a good job of bracketing Davante Adams. Like, they were going out of their way to double team him effectively on every play. Even on plays where it didn't look pre-snap like they were going to, they would sort of rotate to these bracket coverages. And I think the Raiders were doing a pretty good job of recognizing that and using Adams basically as a decoy. Like, they had a bunch of plays where they sort of used the gravity of Davante Adams, which was sucking an extra defender out of the coverage and then attacking the one-on-one that was leaving. They hit Trey Tucker with a really nice deep pass in exactly that scenario. Safety jumps down to double cover Davante Adams, and they just go right over the top to this DB who's now one-on-one in trail technique and just, i.e., beaten, and just hit Trey Tucker over the top of that. So that was a fun little, schematic wrinkle in this game. It was sort of like, does Josh McDaniels know where the bodies are buried in this defense, having gone up against it every week for the last 20 years or whatever? Or are they, it's not the most complicated thing in the world. Like, Davante Adams is being double-teamed every play. Let's use that as a decoy and attack something else.
J.C. Jackson making his return for the Patriots?
By default. There's just nobody left in that secondary.
Yeah, pretty much nobody left. He didn't give up many catches, but there was a bunch of drops and overthrows in there when he was giving up a little bit of separation there. But so look, I think the Raiders deserve some credit for their defense. I mean, I know the Patriots have been inept offensively, but the Raiders defense continues to kind of overachieve, look better than they did on paper. Max Crosby continuing to make a name for himself as a star. He looked great again. I'm not going to pick on Tyree Wilson, but it's still not great. I will give you a stat though. He has, on the season, Tyree Wilson has 3 pass rush wins and 2 penalties. Just saying. That's all. Might be 2-2.
I mean, it is more pass rush wins than you have, which wasn't true for a period of the season.
It was close.
That's something.
For a while. Actually, it's tied now. It's actually tied. Yeah, 2 pass rush wins, 2 penalties for Tyree Wilson so far. I don't want to be. This was like we used to pick on Bud Dupree when the Steelers won. I don't want to do that, right? The Raiders are winning, and they're playing pretty well defensively.
Bad Dupree is still pretty bad, by the way.
That's fine.
If you want an update.
I don't want an update. For New England, they're 1-5, and the Bills and Dolphins are next on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking 1-7, smack in the face.
Yeah.
1-7 potentially. New England is scouting QBs. They're in the QB market in the draft. I mean, it's just a fascinating place that they're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're going to be looking for the future and the rebuild and all that kind of thing. To me, the fascinating thing is Belichick a part of that? I mean, is this how he goes out? Just an abject season where everything collapses and then somebody else gets to piece it back together again after he goes?
I wonder if like the worse it gets, the more he has an opportunity to make it better. You know, because you can almost like if they win 4 games, it's like, well, you're the best guy to turn this thing around.
Really? Don't you think that like?
Because if they go 7-9, it's just like Bill, or 7-10. You just have us as this mediocre team. We are stuck in mediocrity. We need a change. If it hits rock bottom, which it has, maybe Belichick, it's like, all right, Bill, let's restart this whole thing. You're the best man for the job to rebuild the thing from scratch.
I feel like
I don't know.
I feel like a billionaire that's grown accustomed to AFC Championship every year is just not going to accept, like a 3-win season, no matter whether it was the guy that got him there or not. Like he demands better than that. And if you're not giving it to me, I'm gonna have to go find the next guy.
Yeah. Either way, it's bad there. Patriots fall to 1-5. Raiders 3-3 right now.